Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Puskar. When it comes to your health, you want it to be all about you, and I completely agree. Now, this video is positioned that it's going to be, quote, about me, but it's actually for you. So if you're willing to listen along, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. So my health journey started a million years ago, probably since the day I was born or prior to being born. My parents were poor when we were growing up, so we didn't have much. I grew up on garbage food, and to the point that our water was so bad and so contaminated, it was actually brown. And so we drank brown water. And what my mom did to cover up the brown is she put in red Kool-Aid to hide it. So we're talking not so healthy of an upbringing. By the time I was about 19, 20, I already had a weight problem. And I was about 175, somewhere around the age of 20, 21-ish. And I already knew I was doing something wrong, but I couldn't figure out what to do about it. So back then it was the low fat craze, and I was living on low fat potato chips and low fat cookies and low fat, low fat, low fat, and not losing an ounce. And I'm like, maybe I have this wrong, but I didn't know where to go. Then in the middle of there, I went to chiropractic college and I learned all about a body and started learning the anatomy, the physiology, and the biochemistry. And I'm like, oh, you actually have to understand how this machine works in order to fix it. And it was my first realization that number one, fad diets don't work. And even if they do work, it's temporary. And two, you got to get down and get at the root cause of your machine's dysfunction. So you'll hear me talk about this body a lot about like a machine because it's the same, not, but not exactly the same, but close enough. So I finally understood what I needed to do. I needed to go take a look at this machine based on its parts. And then I started learning, changing my diet based on the understanding. And then lo and behold, the weight started coming off. So the first time I lost a lot of weight was around 1920. Then the next time, after graduating and going out into real life, I still wasn't doing well. And what I did is I tried vegetarianism because the low fat thing and changing my diet and understanding anatomy and physiology helped. Still not perfect me. I was still tired. I still had a lot of constipation, and the weight, I was still not thin by any means. Thinner, I look good, but not thin. So like, okay, next part of the story. So then I switched to vegetarianism and I did that for a handful of years, and that helped a little, but still didn't get the whole story. So I knew I must have been missing something. Now I understood all about the body and the machine. I understood low-fat diets. I understood vegetarianism. Still not exactly right. The next thing I did then is finally found probably the most correct way is a lower carbohydrate diet. Notice I did not say keto, paleo, etc. A lower carbohydrate diet. And talking about diets and the keto fad is a whole other video. But for this one, let's just call it a lower carb diet. So I did the lower carb diet and then lost the rest of the weight and then doing well. Then it's time to have children. And with both pregnancies, I gained over 50 pounds. Now, I couldn't figure that out. And people in my environment are like, Lori, what are you doing? Eating bags of Oreos? And they knew better because number one, I was already a natural health care practitioner for many years at this point. I knew natural and health and vitamins and nutrition, and I knew everything there was to know. And of course, I was walking the walk, and family members and friends could attest to that. But yet, with both pregnancies, I gained 50 pounds. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not possible. Well, I never did figure out what happened there because I didn't know what I was running into, and I couldn't because it's later in the story what really happened. So I just did the best I could to get the weight back off of the two pregnancies, and I eventually did, but with a lot of work. Then I moved on, and kids are growing now, and I'm doing my thing, and then for no reason, I got chronic bronchitis. Now, I think in part what it had to do with is I was traveling. I was teaching nutrition to healthcare practitioners across the country for about 10 years. And so I think during that is when I was traveling the most and when I had the severe lung situation. And again, I had to go back to the drawing board and learn more and do more because everything I already mentioned in this video, though it helped, still didn't get the rest of the story. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what could I possibly be missing? Well, I found more of the story and then handled the body yet again at a deeper layer, and then finally got the lung and the bronchitis thing to go away fully and completely. So lungs, no longer an issue. Then, for no reason, a few years later, I started getting migraines. And again, everybody in my life at this point is looking at me and they're like, Dr. Lori, they're like, we know you. We know you eat the perfect diet. We know you don't eat anything but good quality food. We know you take your nutritional supplements every day. We know you only drink great quality water and you've been doing that for 2 decades now. So everyone's looking at me and they're like, how could this possibly be? And I'm standing there looking at them and I'm like, I don't know. But apparently there's more to the story and more I have to go figure out. And everybody's like, what could be left? So again, searching, looking for more. I finally found the rest of the story, and it had to do with finally getting my own DNA profile done. And this technology, though we're just learning about it now, could have saved me, and I'm sure you and thousands of my previous patients, a lot of hard work and effort. But we didn't know about the DNA connection, so we couldn't do anything about it. So I had my DNA tested and I started myself on a nutrition program based on my DNA. And finally, we got down to what was causing the migraines. So I'm on that particular program right now and continuing on that journey. And now the latest thing is on top of that, I'm not in menopause, but I'm starting to get into the hormonal situation. So I have the battle of the body fighting me a little bit when it shouldn't be. I'm like, hey. I'm like, I've been doing this for 25 years now. Body is like, we are not doing menopause. You are not giving me hormone problems. We are not going there. So the latest addition to my program is handling the hormones naturally and or preventing them from becoming a problem, wrapped around my previous program of everything I've done prior of a lower carbohydrate diet and also the nutrition. So I want to let you know, and the point behind this video is that it has not been a fun, easy ride for me. And I think a lot of times when you see someone on a video, you don't have a good reality with them. You're like, oh, look at her. She's perfect. Not that I'm saying I'm perfect, but you look at the person in the video, like, oh, look at her. She doesn't have a weight problem. She looks perfect. Look at her. She has all this energy. How could she possibly understand me? And actually, the truth is it's taking me 25 years to be who I am. And let me tell you, I understand you more than you know. And not only that, I have done everything that needs to be done in order to be who I am today. So the Cinderella story is that number one, you can do something about it. Number two, you just have to know what it is you need to do about it. And three, probably the most important thing is knowing what sequence to do it in, because it wasn't a matter of the thing that handled the root cause of my problems was just the lower carb diet, or it was just the DNA, or was it just the nutritional supplements. It was a combination of all of those factors that got me the successes. And I love when I see online right now is like people are putting up, weight loss videos and, before and afters. And they're like, oh, look at me. I was, fat all my life. And last year I went on a diet and now I'm skinny. Okay. No offense to that person and very well done. You did it what, for a year-ish, and you did it on one person? I've been doing this for my career for 25 years on thousands of people. So good luck to you on your weight loss journey. But at the same time, you're going to need someone, number one, who understands you, is walking the walk, will continue to walk the walk, and will help you walk the walk. So my story isn't finished, I'm so sure. I'm sure there might be more to come, but I just wanted you to have a little bit of background on who I was, the difficulties it's been, and even though I've been doing everything right, this body still gives me trouble on occasion. So what I want to do is give you hope and there's still help and something that can be done about it. And if you're looking for a practitioner, you have a lot of options. And that's one of the other reasons for this video is you go online right now and you can see a million and one famous YouTubers. You can go on Facebook and in your feed shows up a million and one nutritionists, let's say doctors of natural medicine, and they're all saying, come to me, be a patient of mine. Well, I can't answer for any of them. What I can tell you is that ask anyone in my environment. I am one of the original diehards. Part of the story I didn't tell you is that I decided to be a healthcare practitioner as 9 years old. So this has been my life's passion. I really, don't appreciate the Johnny come latelys because you're a Johnny come lately. I've been around since the beginning. I know and understand the body to a ridiculous degree. If you ask any of my friends and family members what I do in my spare time is I'm reading nerdy journals and articles and going to, government websites on how to be healthy and the research studies. And, if you knew me, and that's what I'm hoping this video does, who I really was, I can tell you without bragging, I'm definitely the real deal. I've been around, I've walked the walk, I have 25 years under my belt. I'm on the cutting edge of everything I do. And if you ask any of my colleagues, they'll tell you that I'm one of the best and smartest practitioners they know. And that's only because they know. So if you want to know, people's addresses and that, I'm not going to give that out. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But I do want to thank you for watching here today. And I'm hoping you decide to work with me, because if you get me, you get the best. And I will promise to help you get there no matter what it takes. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day. Bye.